Hello again and welcome to the Dublo Railway. This is a rather odd start, I suppose. We call this a Dublo Railway, and what are we staring at? We're staring at a Markland turntable, a Trix Britannia, a 3-rail Trix Britannia sitting on that, Graham Farish 060 Great Western tank engine, and yes, some Hornby Dublo items as well. The turntable is an interesting story and will probably feature in another video. Suffice to say, this thing's operating on DC, not AC, and apparently no harm is done when that happens. Anyway, it's working reasonably satisfactorily, although there's a bearing that I can't reach to oil, and that makes a fair old noise. Now, looking along my bench there, you can start to see the business end of this layout. All the switches at this end operate the top level of the layout, which you can see there as I pan around. And I'll just come back now, and the switches at the far end operate the lower level of the layout. Now, I'll just pause and get a shot from the north end of the layout, which is where the controls are. And here we are. So the controller on the right operates the outside line, which is 2 and 3 rail. The switches that you see above that change the outside line between 2 and 3 rail, provide power to various circuits, and the 3 H&M controllers that you see run the 6 circuits that make up the tin plate line, or the tin plate lines that are on this layout. Now, this is not the same train running in a different direction. This is a second train. You can see the first one is parked in the station and that one is running around it, and it will come around the layout in the opposite direction. And these two should be able to alternate for as long as the old controller can stand at the end and make things happen. And here we are at the south end of the layout, and you'll see the train coming into view, going around a very improbable bridge and back down through the 2 large bridges which span the west side of the layout. Again, you can see it there. It's going to loop around, come through the station and repeat that exercise. I'll just zoom in here and get a better view of that. So here's another view around along the bridges, and it will come back around and into this station and around the other train. Now, there have been a couple of motive power changes on the upper level. We've got a class 20 diesel and a 4MT locomotive hauling the 2 rakes of blood and custard coaches. They're just going to sit there for a while I run another train around the upper level and try and demonstrate how the various isolated sections of this level work. So what you're going to see is a Cocoa diesel locomotive pulling some United glass wagons, I think it is. And this is all on the same circuit as the two passenger trains that you saw earlier. The set of points or the two sets of points that you see in the picture now allow for this train to run effectively on a complete circuit of its own, while the other two trains sit in the station, which is over there. Again, up the incline, over the bridge, down and around, through the station, past the improbable bridges, and under a Hornby Dublo footbridge that spans 3 tracks. This is made up of 2 footbridges, and the only thing I'll say about this at the moment is that this is when I discovered that there were 2 different castings for these. So in the distance you can see that again, around here, through the station, around past the signals, and down the outer track over the bridges. And here we have the Cocoa diesel stopped, and we're awaiting the latest motive power development on the passenger side of things. And now the Class 20 in action. It will come around here, through the bridge in the opposite direction, past the 4MT and its carriages sitting there, and we'll get another shot of that. So there it is running up the west side of the layout, and the next shot you will see will be from approximately here. Here it comes, through the station, around the 4MT and its carriages, under the footbridge and around. And you see that it's taking a different trajectory from the Cocoa diesel and its rate of wagon. Here's another view. Over this bridge and down through here. Let's have a quick look at the stars of the show. Here's the Cocoa diesel. It's supposed to be a Deltic, but it's about 1.5 inches too short. It shares most of the underpinnings of the Kobo, except of course that it's got 2 6-wheel axles, 2 6-wheel bogies, I beg your pardon. And it's a generally equally reliable, equally strong pulling engine. I don't want to call it a locomotive. In real life it's a locomotive. Now we're splitting hairs and people are going to laugh, but okay. I've got a few of these. Again, these were all ones that I returned to some form of action, and I think probably in the next couple of videos there's the opportunity for me to show you something that I've done with two rail ones of these, one of which did have a motor, the other of which didn't, but that's a treat in store. These were vastly more popular than the Kobos, I think, and kind of deservedly so. And here's another star of the show, a fairly play-worn Class 20. These have 4-wheel bogies. They're originally, well, the prototype's an English electric design. This outline was quite familiar to me living in the Antipodes. I grew up in New Zealand, and New Zealand Railways diesel electrics looked somewhat like this. They were a 6-cylinder diesel. This is an 8-cylinder, but essentially the same idea. Cab at one end, which made running with the cab like this more popular with crews, I think, because of visibility problems. Running along here, we've got a couple of the blood and custard tin plate coaches. Now both of these coaches have metal wheels. These are 3-rail ones. I find that the nylon wheeled coaches, some of my track geometry, let's just say, is a bit challenging for them, and we do get derailments. Now this was a model that Wren continued. The 2-rail version of this, the Hornby Dublo 2-rail version of this, had some problems with pickups. Things had to be very, very clean in order for them to go well. These, as a 3-rail engine, they're great. They're reliable. They run relatively smoothly. They do have rubber tires, and of course they wear out. Everything else about them, though, is really, really solid. And here's the other star of the show, this 264 tank engine for 4MT. As you can see, this one's had plenty of play and plenty of wear. It's still a great performer. These are a great model. They're rock solid. These two survived into production with Wren, I think deservedly so. And there were some refinements. The wheels were replaced with finer versions. And this too is hauling a couple of blood and custard coaches with metal wheels. That's really what I tend to do up on this level, given how many points have to be negotiated. I've got a number of super detail coaches which I'm really happy with. I really like seeing them on the layout, but they're a bit more temperamental than these old girls, and even the tin plate coaches like this, which have nylon wheels, so they're for 2 or 3 rail, things like the restaurant car, that sort of thing. They can be a bit finicky, especially when you have a lot of points to challenge them with. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I think this is a suitable place to end this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.